We have the new Sony 20-70 f4 lens. And I love this new focal length because I think it has a lot of practical applications.
This is like a new kit lens. Like this is what your kit lens probably was before, a 24-105 f4. And you can see it's significantly bigger, but it's also older, and we'll show you that this new 20-70 has some real strengths.
But it's not without its drawbacks. This old lens still has things that are good about it, so we'll talk about that. We'll put them head to head, and you can see what you think.
But can I discuss it philosophically? Like, I feel like back in the era of film, normal, what they called normal, was 50 millimeters, right?
Yeah.
Wikipedia shows that this definition was created by Oscar Barnack over 100 years ago. It's time to update what we consider normal. And nowadays, in the era of smartphones, I feel like normal is 24 millimeters. So in the era of 50 millimeter norms, 24-105 was perfect because 50 was right in the middle and you could zoom back or you could zoom in. But in the era where 24 is normal, 20-70 makes more sense because you can actually zoom back a little bit. But it has huge benefits for people who might be cropping a little bit, or you might have a crop forced on you by things like the 4K video crop in Sony cameras or active stabilization. We are gonna test it like crazy. First, let's talk about the design. The new lens has 2 programmable buttons on it. The old lens has only 1. The new lens has a cool aperture ring, so you can dial in your aperture with the camera off. The old lens didn't have that, and that aperture ring can be clicked on or off in case you're shooting video.
But the old lens has stabilization in the lens, and the new lens does not.
But your camera probably has sensor stabilization, unless you have one of the APS-C cameras, but these are full-frame lenses. So how well does it actually stabilize this? The old lens definitely has an advantage, but I found that neither one stabilized it very well.
Really?
In fact, compared to that 60 to 600 millimeter lens, the 600 millimeter lens at 600 millimeters got more stable shots at 1/8 of a second than either of these lenses did. And it just kind of goes to show you, like, Sony isn't that great at stabilization. Sigma is much better. Panasonic is much better. So you're still going to be limited to just a couple of stops below the reciprocal rule with either one of these, which is good enough for standard shooting. But the optical stabilization in this definitely helped me go another stop or 2, but you'd still want to take plenty of shots to make sure you got one. So if you're shooting low light and you really like to stretch the shutter speed, I think you're going to be happier with the 24-105 f4.
But I will say that if you're using stabilization for video and you're doing things like vlogging or filming yourself in close quarters, this 20 millimeter focal length is going to be wide enough where you can have yourself in the shot and then crop and post when your camera's stabilizing and you need that extra wiggle room.
I'll tell you what, let's put this on our Sony a7S III and we'll take it for a walk and we'll use that active stabilization so we can show you what that means.
Okay. Now I have the 24-105, I'm at 24 millimeters, and I'm walking around to see not only what the focal length is like, but what stabilization is like. So I'll take you on a little stroll around my kitchen and see how this works. Now let's try the 20-70 and see what the difference is without the lens having stabilization. Ooh, this is the 20 millimeters. It does not have the in-lens stabilization, but it's wider and I like that. I'm already seeing more of what's going on around me. Oh, but not the gate, clearly. So if I were vlogging on vacation and talking about my scenery, it's wide enough where you can see what's going on, and I still have some room to crop for the stabilization in post.
Looking at Sony's active stabilization side by side, and neither one is very good. The background is really jerky, but with the 20 millimeter lens, I can add more stabilization in post, and then it looks a little bit better.
Let's talk about the sharpness of these lenses, because the newer lens is sharper. At 24 millimeters, they're about the same, but the new lens is still a little bit sharper. But as you zoom in to 50 or 70 millimeters, you're going to see that the 20-70 millimeter newer lens is sharper as you zoom more and more.
In fact, at 70 millimeters, this beats the 24-105, but cropped to 105 millimeters, this still beats it. The new lens is sharper, cropped to 105 millimeters. Now, that doesn't mean that this doesn't have an advantage at 105 millimeters, because cropped, this becomes 105 millimeter f6, whereas this is still 105 millimeter f4.
More bokeh.
More bokeh. So why don't we go take a couple of headshots and we'll show you exactly what that means. First, the 24-105 has such a great headshot capability. So I'll zoom in to 105 millimeters. I'm in aperture priority all the way down at f4, and check out the bokeh on this. Bokeh. Now I'm gonna put the 24-20 to 70. I keep calling it a 24 to 70. And I'm gonna zoom all the way into 70 millimeters. Bokeh? Oh, and you can see the image just has a lot more junk in the background, because at 105 millimeters, I can compress everything and hide the background, but I don't get that same isolating capability. Now I can crop down, but then you see the bokeh isn't quite as smooth. Or I could push in and get closer, and that might give me the same subject size, but it still gives me more background. I just lose the ability to crop out the background. And that's one of the really nice things of being able to zoom to 105 millimeters. I'm in the portrait studio, so I can test the contrast of the lenses in controlled conditions. Anytime you're shooting into a bright light like this, it can completely wash out the image. This is important for portrait photographers who often have the sun or sunset in the background, but landscape photographers are always shooting sunrises and sunsets. So having a fixed subject here and a fixed light allows me to be completely consistent. Let's check out the results. With both lenses about 24 millimeters, you can see the new lens is much cleaner. Look at this line here, a nice sharp edge, where on the old 24-105, this becomes a big bloom, and the 24-105, we can see a bunch of purple flaring here that isn't present on the new lens. Sony's done a lot to improve the optical image quality from their lenses. Zooming in, it becomes even more obvious. Like this shot here shooting into the light is a complete loss, whereas here, the contrast is really good. Let's take a look at 70 millimeters. It's hard to believe that these are at the same settings, but they are. The 24-105 has so much blooming here, while the 20-70 is nice and sharp. Again, we see a bunch of purple flaring here that is not present on the 20-70. And if we zoom in, we can see so much more detail out of the new lens than the old lens. We liked the 24-105, but this lens is in another class. This 20-70 is technically a G lens, but these optical qualities make it more like a GM. It's really nice to be able to get close to a subject and fill the frame. If you're an amateur, maybe you want to take pictures of flowers, or if you're a professional, you gotta get that ring shot in the wedding. So let's see which of these two lenses allows you to get closer. Both lenses have their maximum magnification at the telephoto end, but the new 20-70 gets so much closer. So if you do some impromptu, almost macro work, get the new 20-70. The new 24-70 f4, it's $1,100 US or $1,500 Canadian. It's shipping at the end of January or the beginning of February, really soon. And if you like the idea of being able to zoom back to 20 millimeters, I think it's a good upgrade from the 24-105. Or maybe you just want that extra sharpness throughout the range. It's incredible how much Sony has improved the sharpness of their lenses since they released this just a few years ago.
Which one would you choose?
I would definitely pick the 20-70, because in fact my walking around lens has been a 16-35, because I do like that ability to go wider more so than zooming in tight. I used to like the extra range, but times have changed, trends have changed. Shooting in general is more intimate, more close up now. And I think 2023 calls for a 20-70.
Yeah, I agree. I think I would choose to go more wide angle, and it's sharper, which I appreciate, and you can always crop. So I would choose that as well.
All right, thanks for loaning this gear. Don't forget to subscribe to see more reviews. If you have follow-up questions, write a comment down below and we'll release a short with the answer. Bye.